Here's some quick instructions on how to assemble the FastShot RC rig. First thing you'll do is assemble both legs on either end. The actual distance by which the razor will be set will be done with the L, that is the large one. You will adjust this leg to the end without the plastic covering to position it in the right location. After that, you will do that side. Then you will do the back bar. To adjust the back bar, you will use the small end of any of the two, the long or the short one, and place them to the edges. So the edge of it needs to align with this bracket, and the edge of it, this side, needs to align with this bracket. That will give you the correct placement of the back bar. Following that, the position on the back bar will be flush with the back side of this rail. Nico, if you would be so kind, can you show how this back bar is flush with the end here? Awesome, great. Now, after that, what I would do is I would mount these feet. So the feet just have a single screw in the bottom, and they would be placed at either end, the beginning or the end of the position. Once we have that assemblage, then we would do the top razor. For the top bar, we're going to center it using this distance on the long L. The short edge would align to this side, and then as well on this side. So that's how we're going to position the center bar. The center bar does not matter if it's actually correctly positioned to the edges, but it'll kind of give you the relative position. The bottom bar is the one that's going to be important because it's going to adjust this length of the tray down here. Now, how are we going to measure the top bar to this base is with the small end of the L in this position. So the small end of the L will give us the raised position of this bar. The long end of the L will give us to the mounting bracket in the back. So the long end of the short L will align with the mounting bracket where we will actually mount this bar. Once we have this mounted, we can proceed to mount the cameras. Now note, there will be two types of nuts. One nut you cannot fit in when the rail has been placed because you wouldn't be able to fit. So you have to use this nut that can actually be fit in once the rail is mounted. And so we would place the cameras into the slots. Last thing is we would put the mounting light where we would fix one end. Note that the other end is where we have the power point of it. So the power point needs to be pointing to the back of the rig. We would come in, mount one side, and then we would bring in the bracket on the other side. That would give us the placement where we would actually be able to plug in the rig. Now, Nico, come in here, please. You have these buttons. This is to turn on the rig. Once you turn on the power, you have to unlock by pushing. Now note, the top measure is the color. We're going to leave that at 5800. And then on the bottom left, you have the intensity. So we can actually move the intensity with this bottom bar here, with this bottom wheel. The intensity will be reflected by the area of the camera. I am sending you two different types of USB ports. One is a USB-A for your camera. This one is slower, so this type of port is slower than the USB-Cs. So for the slower port, you might have to connect the cameras one at a time for the system to identify them. So you have to wait for each camera to be recognized by the computer. You'll hear the Windows ding showing when it's connected. The placement of the cameras. The placement of the cameras is done. The first side first, so one side first, from the edge using the small L to the camera, to the first camera, and then you would do the next side on the opposite direction. After you do that, then you would do between the first and the second camera on this side with the long side of the L, and then you would do the inverse on this side long side of the L to give you the placement between this first and the second camera on the left side. And then you could just, it'll be very close to do, you know, the centering of this camera with respect to the other two. The final adjustment you'll need to make is the mounting of the tray. The mounting of the tray, you're going to adjust to this end is going to align to this end of the mounting of the tray. That gives you the position of the tray to be flush. If the tray does not sit flush against the ends, what you would do is you would adjust the back bar to open the legs or close the legs so it fits exactly flush against it. I think that pretty much covers all the assembly instructions. These end caps would be mounted on all the ends to close and give it for, I guess, decoration purposes. We will then show in a separate video how to adjust the lenses.